Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed partners, industry captains, members of the press, let me take a special moment to welcome you to the 2024 edition of the Nigerian Oil and Gas Conference. My name is Daire Afonya Akobo. I am the chairman and the group CEO of PANA Holdings. PANA Holdings is a conglomerate and holds companies in two main, I'll call it two main divisions. One is the oil and gas, and the other one is the non-oil and gas. It is not just a company that started yesterday. It was thought out of a long-term dream. And like I say, a dream without a deadline is a nightmare. So from the oil and gas perspective where we are, we started with PE Energy Limited. Within PE Energy Limited, we are doing everything. There came a time I realized that the world is going into energy and not oil and gas. I therefore moved from plant engineering to PE Energy in 2010. I did it before all the oil majors like Shell, Chevron, Exxon, and Total as a dreamer. So within plant engineering, we then spin out a few other activities, such as exploration. We are the company, when I read the presidential speech, President Muhammadu Buhari, I discovered that there are better ways of exploring oil. I therefore approached him, drew a letter, and we did the first non-conventional technology in the country. And that was what gave rise to the coal money de-risking activities. And today, it is standing out as a very viable tool. So, PE Energy has purely what I call four main growth engines. Number one is the drive. The drive is where we have the compressor group, the pumping group. We have major companies that we work with, like Baker Hughes for the turbo machinery. We have companies like ITT Bornemann, ITT Goods for multi-phase pumps. We're having a very big project with Chevron. Then within that PE Energy group, we also have the control. So when you drive the fluid, either liquid or gas, you control the fluid. So we also have a flow control division, and that is literally called the valve and actuation division. Then moving forward, we then have measurement. We call it measurement, not metering. A number of people call it metering. Measurement because we do metering and ancillaries. And so we call it measurement. So we call it flow measurement and management. And then the other vertical we created out of that was the pipeline, the health of the pipeline. So we talk about pipeline solutions. So then move to Synergy E&P. Synergy E&P, like we said, we go from the downhole. We have non-conventional technology that we can use to scan the hydrocarbon underground using the patented technology called the NXT, SFD technology. And then we also have other technology that we use for the mining industry. So we are not only in the oil and gas, we are in the oil and gas, we are also in mining. And then now we are actually in a phase of commercialization. Nigeria, the Federal Republic, the president has declared Nigeria as a decade of gas. What decade of gas means to us is to bring the gas to the level of usage. So we are exploring various methods and technologies to be able to exploit the gas, the stranded gas, the uncommitted gas, the flared gas, to make it useful for the social goods. Moving forward, we are also very keen in sustainability. The whole country, everybody is talking about sustainability, but we're talking about what can we do. Sustainability is the effect of the process to the environment and the effect of the environment to the process. So we have designed, working with companies like Infosys, coming up with a lot of innovative solutions to actually decarbonize the industry operation. Then we move forward to say, look, without all of these things, what is going to keep the memory? The biggest problem we found, and I personally did a lot of research, is that Nigeria can increase production without doing anything but digitizing their process. Because we are all created by God via processes. Ladies and gentlemen, anyone listening to me or hearing me, you know that you are created with systems. You have urinary system, you have digestive system, you have reproduction system. And so one of the fundamental failure in our industry is lack of system, or lack of adequate system, or lack of implementation of systems. So we are here to debottleneck that problem. We are in an era of fourth industrial revolution, which means that we talk about biology, we talk about life, we talk about science, we talk about the universe, we talk about interconnectivity. COVID has taught us a lot of lessons. Teams was ever there, but until life taught us lessons, we began to embrace Teams. WhatsApp was there in those days in the form of mobile phones such as BlackBerry. We have BlackBerry, messaging system. But because life taught us a necessity, we began to embrace and bring out those kind of salient applications. So our industry must be digitized. Digitization makes us to have memory. Digitization makes us to have repeatability. Digitization makes us to stay in course. And therefore, we decided to create AKD digital solution. The other one was Synergy EMP. It was Synergy EMP because we had understood that the world is not synergizing, especially in the exploration phase. Then we came back to AKD digital solution, where we have decided to start from the core to be able to digitize the entire industry. So we have oil and gas tech, where we have partnered with companies like Infosys, the biggest company in the world, the biggest IT or digital solution company in the world with a $20 billion annual turnover, 400,000 employees. So what we are doing at Infosys with PNG is strategically partnering, forming strategic MSAs, where we are going to start with a springboard. A springboard is where we want to bring in digital literacy into the country. And we're not talking about digital literacy in the sense of pornography, in the sense of social tech. We're talking about in the sense of technical technology. So we're going to, under the AKD digital solution, we're going to have digital literacy so that we have all our teeming youth. Research has shown that everybody is embracing digital system. However, there's going to be a lack in industrialization. So we have to bridge that, employee gap. So we created AKD digital solution to solve the oil and gas industry problem. A few days ago, look at what has happened. Dangote refinery got into flame. It got into flame. Why? If there was life cycle safety management system, there wasn't. There is. I will not say there was not, but I need to identify. We need to find out if there was a life cycle safety management system. We have the oil and gas mineral license procedures, but the life cycle management system is a concern to someone like me as we are moving into this decade of gas. Of course, you know that gases are highly inflammable. So we are bringing digital solution into the industry. We want to clean the entire industry so that there will be a transparency between the operators and the regulators. There is no transparency. The operators have a lot of information that the regulators will be asking, and it is brought in piecemeal. Some of the regulators also have information that their staff will take those information away. We want to retain those information. Otherwise, there is not going to be a historical record. We discovered also that there is no talent. Our company today, we are the biggest in the valve and actuation market. We are the biggest in multi-phase market. But it will surprise you to note that we do not have well-certified valve technicians or valve engineers. And let's start with technicians, because engineering will take us into application. So what we have done quickly was to open an academy called PANA Academy, where we are starting with what we know. Most of our OEMs are scared of coming down into the country to go into the nook and crannies to work. What we have decided is to open an academy where we will be training all of these people. We have to train all of them. We are taking the cue from what we have in other banks, the banking sector, like GT Bank, Access Bank, where they have an academy, where they bring the people. A lot of the people have engineering degrees. But when you bring them to identify a circuit, they will not be able to identify a circuit. We have people that have master's degree in engineering, electrical engineering, they are not able to read function blocks or maybe able to read a P and ID. So what we are trying to do is to actually come. So we created an academy, which we call Competency Assessment and Incubation Hub. We have to assess the competency, incubate it. The industry is not training people. I became a master of my field when I started working with General Electric, and I knew from beginning they taught me machine library. So I understand what is rotor dynamics, I understand what is fluid dynamics. Today, the IOCs leave their jobs to EPCs. And what do EPC do? Quote low, buy low. So for instance, metering system, a typical EPC contractor will buy a metering system that will do the work. But as to whether the metering system is fit for that purpose is another discussion today. And they begin to shop around little items. Cases are bound where they will be asked to buy a valve called high integrity pressure protection system. Because they want to go for the cheapest, they go and buy a couple of valves, couple them, and they call it the hips. It will blow out. We need to have our eyes on ground. Also, not just to install a valve. Today, we're talking about flaring system. Maybe the hips valve will be able to reduce the flare. We do not understand what a typical hips valve will do other than simple protection. So we have an academy. That academy is going to be the first of, it's not going to be the first of its kind in the whole of Sub-Saharan Africa, headed by a professor. We're also giving back to the society. We went back to the university. We took a professor, a renowned professor of electrical engineering, who is heading that academy, and we are looking for industry people to partner with her. Then let me move forward to non-oil and gas, and I'll start with infrastructure. I personally discovered that the country cannot be built by government alone. Government alone cannot. So there is need for private people to partner. So I decided that I must, within the ambit of what we are doing, to actually revolutionize the infrastructure business. Looking at the PRACO that the government has constituted, with all the funds, it is not taking off because we are still waiting for government to take it off, to give them stimulus. As a business, we are prepared, and that was why we formed PANA Infrastructure. And we are partnering with most of the state governors to begin to use technology as a platform for growth. Our first entrance is with Siemens. I'm proud to announce that we have formed strategic partnership with Siemens. With Siemens strategic partnership, we're going to employ several people to begin to know how to clean up the distribution network, then transmission, then production. So we have the PANA infrastructure business. We're starting up with infrastructure. Does not necessarily mean roads. Infrastructure means everything around what will take a nation to grow. So we're talking about digital infrastructure, we're talking about communication infrastructure, we're talking about power infrastructure. In fact, we are bringing a revolutionary technology that will support the grid. Not solar. Solar has its own limitation. The batteries have their limitation. Lithium batteries have their limitation. So we are bringing novel technology that will support that grid so that we can have, all of us can have harmony in our life. Because we have situations where in the villages, medicine cannot be preserved under those conditions. And so we are injecting people that are going to die because they don't have the refrigeration in the village. Our intention is to move on to the village. We need to democratize the power to the villagers. Coming back to infrastructure, our digital solution business is also part of the infrastructure development project. With that digital development business, we are partnering with Infosys. We are going to train at least nothing less than 10,000 youths from all walks of infrastructure, all walks of digitization. We want to talk to CBN. We want to see how the way India revolutionized their digital strategy, we are going to defrog. We don't need to do anything. We don't need to reinvent the wheel, but we need to know how to use the wheel in a different way. We went back into agriculture. So we have an investment called PEGLI, which is a 270 hectares of land in Obage, very arable and pristine land, where we want to start in production, vertical integration, and an all-encompassing agricultural hub. So we are also investing in that. All investment strategy is complete. We want to start with some little bit of processing, agri-processing. Then we also have investments in activities like snooze. We've carefully studied that tobacco, smoking cigarettes, is dangerous to health. We can debate that. Today, one of the things we discovered that under our healthcare system, we have invested in a smokeless tobacco called snooze. It is taking us a long while to break into the market because we were confronted with what is the definition of entrepreneurship as a persistent pursuit of opportunity without regards to scarce resources that are controlled by the founder's choices. The people that are controlling cigarettes in this country is a cabal. And under this administration, the president will debunk all of that, because what the president wants is not only money, but he also wants the teeming youth to be healthy. Smoking rubbish is not in his wish list. So we need to support the Mr. President to enable us to bring in those products that will reduce. If you go to the Benelux, if you go to the Scandinavian, the product we are bringing has helped and shown by World Health Organization that it helps in longevity. It helps reducing cancer spread. I have in my cupboard here the cancer program. From the concept note for the National Institute of Cancer Research and Treatment. Listen, why do we go for treatment rather than preventive? That's our vision. Why? We don't have a research. We don't have data. And I have told the Cancer Research Center that I'm going to donate money for them to have the data and provide the infrastructure for data collection. And so we moved back from that point of view. We have also invested recently in other businesses such as Diplomatic Village, where we want to see that the expatriate community coming in this country have a better living. There is a lot of infrastructure decay. The American Embassy, the British Embassy, the Netherlands Embassy, their personnel. We need to have a way to integrate them. We need to create a village for them so that they will see the life the way it is in their particular country. You have Chinatown. We want to use it as a model. Why don't we have Nigerian town in other countries? That's a concept note we are following. So our primary aim of investment is what I classify as the 5 Ps. Number 1, purpose. If the purpose of a team that you are doing is not known, abuse is inevitable. Our purpose is to depopulate unemployment. We have to do everything humanly possible, apart from stealing and killing, to continue to invest in activities that will employ people. We have expanded our business from Port Harcourt. I'm a Rivers man, but today I'm in Abuja and I've employed the Northerners. Whether you are from Bauchi, you are from Igbo, you are from Rivers State, you are from Yoruba, we are the same. My employment is without regards to nationality, without regards to ethnicity. And that is what I want to pass the message to everybody. That's our primary purpose. The second definition of the P is the process and the technology. I mentioned to you that everybody was born through a process. The third one is people and talent. We have teeming youths, but they are not talented. A typical graduate that cannot even write a letter to any ministry. And then we talk about product and solution. How do we have a product that is required by the people? When your product is not required by the people, it becomes like a paint in the hand of somebody who is blind. And then the last one, which is what is revolutionary, this is the core of our secret, is that develop a concept that you have a profit and prosperity for the employees, the stakeholders, then the shareholders. With all of those 5 Ps, we have seen that our growth is becoming quite exponential. We are not able to see where nobody is going to see our back. Every time you look at me, the next thing again, I've created another company. So we are going to be the conglomerate of this country. We are entering financial services. We are bringing in a revolutionary technology that will seemingly make all of us inclusive in our finances. And that is our call, GO. Digital for all. Digital for tomorrow and digital for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, PANA Holdings is a conglomerate of a company, and we want you to stay in touch with us. Enjoy the rest of the energy, and we are here to answer all your questions. Thank you.